everyone, welcome back to the BTI Unleashed podcast. I am Hatikah, the Regional Marketing Executive at BTI Executive Search. Today, I am accompanied by one of the people that I really look up to as my role model and is such a great leader to me. We are here today to discuss and explore about balancing leadership and life with him. You guys must be wondering who this person is. Everyone, please welcome Jonathan Guilfoile, the Managing Director and Regional Head at BTI Executive Search. Hi, Jonathan.
Hi, Hatikah. Thank you very much for the wonderful introduction. Very generous of you, and really honored and excited to be part of the BTI Unleashed podcast series. Your brainchild, actually, of this podcast. So really excited to be here and talk a little bit about, of course, my journey, as well as the different experiences I've had over the last 7 years within the group. But I guess maybe the right place to start is to quickly introduce myself. My name is Jonathan Guilfoile, as introduced. I'm the Managing Director and Regional Head for BTI Executive Search, which cuts across the Asia-Pacific region. So we have 8 countries. North Asia is China and Hong Kong. Southeast Asia is Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia. And then in the Pacific, we have Australia. And then all the way across to the east, we have India, where we operate across multiple cities, both Tier 1 and Tier 2. So really excited to be here and share my stories. Hopefully the audience yourself will be interested, and looking forward to today.
Great, thank you for the lovely introduction. So let's start with something meaningful. We've been carrying the group vision for years now, the Work and Smile vision. What does it personally mean to you?
Very good question. So I think the Work and Smile vision that we have as a group for Persil is very personal, and it really means a lot to me, something that I try to live by every day. It's really about, finding passion and love and joy in what you do, right? And when you really love what you do every day, you certainly will bring that joy and smile, obviously, both to the workplace as well as home, right? So I think Work and Smile is something that we want to have as a philosophy for the group, so that we make sure we provide a good opportunity for all of our employees. It's also about balancing your work and life and being able to provide for your family. So it's about us, it's about it's about the market, of course, the candidates and clients, and of course our employees. Right?
Yes, I agree to that. It's not just about improving your own life, but also the team and also the community we serve. You've been in the industry for the past 7 years now. You must have sacrificed your blood, sweat and tears a lot to be where you are right now. Could you walk us through it?
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks for not saying 20 years, because that would have made me feel certainly a lot older. 7 years seems like, I'm a younger executive in the industry. So yeah, but truthfully, I have been in the industry for more than 20 years. Of course, started out in Japan and then moved to Singapore about 13 years ago. I joined BTI in November 2017. So again, been about 7 years. And the mission was actually quite simple. The idea was to build an executive search arm within a global staffing business. An endeavor that many of the global staffing firms have tried to do. Of course, some with success, and many have failed over the years. And I really thought that the opportunity to try to build something meaningful and something stable that would last a long period of time within a staffing business would be an amazing challenge. And fortunately, with the great support of our ExCo, our leadership team across the region, we've had an opportunity to build and establish the executive search business. So in 2017, we only had 4 countries. So I think it was Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, and India. And, over the last 7 years, we've actually tripled in revenue and tripled in size. And, the importance, of course, of being able to do that is if you don't have scale, you can't grow your business. And if your business doesn't grow, then you don't have opportunities for your employees to grow, right? So I've always believed in, growth, but also making sure that it's sustainable growth. Yeah. And by being able to grow the business, employees have an opportunity to, go through their own career journey. And but if you stayed at 50 people, then everyone's doing the same job for 7 years. And after 7 years doing the same job, I'm sure people aren't going to be excited. Yeah. So luckily, we've been able to grow and expand the business over the past 7 years.
Well said. That's so refreshing to hear how your career progression evolved. So as the managing director, what do you think makes BTI a great place to work? And what do you think some of the key benefits to work with us?
Yeah, I think it's a very good question, right? I think for me personally, the type of brand and business that I wanted to build was, a boutique environment that allowed employees to have, the flexibility to, follow their passion, but with plenty of learning growth opportunities. And I think that mix of personal growth and building a company culture, with flexibility, autonomy, and trust, essentially everyone's running their own businesses. And so if they can act as entrepreneurs, but work in an environment or a platform where they can learn and grow, that would be a perfect environment. And of course, because we are a regional executive search business, the opportunity for employees to work with clients and candidates across a diverse subset of markets and countries is a really, really exciting opportunity, right? So most brands or competitors, you're limited to working in one market, one particular country, talking to the same set of candidates. But for us, we could be running searches in Singapore today, we could be doing Philippines, we could be doing the US, Japan, India, China, Hong Kong. And I think that exposure is really what we hope excites both our existing employees as well as future employees.
Yes, I totally second that. BTI, for me personally, BTI leaves a lasting good impression.
Thank you. Yeah. You're saying that just because it's a BTI podcast? No.
It's sincere. Yeah.
Thank you. And I think part of it's also, really giving employees an opportunity to challenge themselves, right? Yeah. So, if somebody's working at our company and they're working as a team assistant or a team coordinator and their scope is limited to, arranging interviews or submitting CVs or creating CVs and formats, but we see that they have the personality, character, or mindset, work ethic to do more. Sometimes we won't even wait for that individual to say that they want to do that job. We would actually push and guide and steer them. Yeah. And so I would say over the last 10, 15 years, I've had two cases where my own team assistant admin support over 3-4 years grew to become a consultant. One of them works, at a client side. And so I think it's that, career progression and opportunity that BTI Executive Search can provide for employees.
Well, after hearing that, some people might have interest in joining our team. What would you say to those people?
Yeah, I would say, first of all, I think there's nothing wrong with getting out of your comfort zone. Of course, coming from, let's say, a bigger establishment or a bigger brand to a boutique environment, I think initially there is a little bit of a culture shock, right? Yeah. It's like, wow, it's so quiet in the office today versus, everybody on the phones, like boiler room style. But I think if you want to be able to have control over your own career and your own destiny, I think a boutique firm like ourselves, or any boutique firm, certainly would be able to provide that opportunity. And you need to push yourself, or jump off that cliff to be able to, really, really challenge yourself. So I think that's, something that if you're willing to do, and you might be afraid or you might be nervous of doing that, but if you want to challenge yourself and do something beyond what you've been doing, then, we certainly would love to welcome you to BTI.
Okay, to those interested, take note on that. You are a leader, not just in the business, but also in your household. So managing 8 countries and balancing that with your family must be challenging. How do you manage your time?
Yeah, first of all, I am definitely not the leader in the household. I think our CEO and CFO, we know who that is in our household. Of course, my wife is the boss and the big boss at home. So, yeah, I think the balancing the work and life and family certainly is a challenge, especially when you're managing 8 countries, traveling 50, 60%. On the road. It's definitely not easy. Of course, having that support system, the infrastructure at home, is critical, right, for it to work. But what I certainly do is, as you know, we have remote working. We have the flexibility to be able to balance, our family time and work time, and it really goes back to the whole work and smile vision. Like, if you're not happy at home, you're not going to be happy at work, and vice versa, right? So we allow employees to be able to balance their time. And so what I always do at the beginning of the year is, when my kids have their sports season or their musical or whatever school activities and events, I will always put that into my calendar. And I will try my best to actually manage the traveling based on that particular calendar, right? So as long as I'm there for those critical moments, certainly the kids are happy, the family is happy. But again, I am not the CEO, MD at home.
Now we know who's in charge. Okay, one final question. What advice do you have for professionals aspiring a fulfilling career while maintaining a personal life?
Yeah, I think there's probably sort of like 2 questions in that. Like, first of all, for those who are interested in pursuing a career in HR, recruitment, executive search, to be honest, like when we were growing up, or when I was growing up, like that industry, nobody told me that industry existed, right? Yeah. So what it is to be a headhunter, what it is to work on executive search, but I can tell you without without a doubt, right, that a career in executive search and headhunting or recruiting is really, really meaningful, right? You get to change people's lives, and you get to make a difference in people's life, their career, their family, and that is not something that you can do in every job, right? So if somebody's out of a job and you're helping them find a new career or new position, the amount of pressure that candidate is in terms of looking for a job or thinking about their financial security, and to be able to make a difference there actually, impacts not just the candidate, but their family and everybody. So for those that are interested, I would definitely consider it. It is a sales job, so you certainly have to, be willing to push yourself, challenge yourself, and be aggressive. You are chasing numbers and targets, so it's not necessarily for everybody, but I think it's meaningful in that way. In terms of balancing the family and work life part, it's really about time management. It's really about being committed, discipline, and I think if you're really good at what you do and you plan out your days, your time well, you will be able to accomplish your professional objectives and complete all of your tasks, and then, being there for the family, right? So I think that's probably what I would suggest.
You heard that. Make sure to keep that in mind.
But the truth is, I'm probably, if you again ask the CEO at home, I'm probably not really good at doing any of that thing, but any of those things. But, I think anyways, if you're, enjoy what you do and you love what you do, everything will come natural.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Well, that's the end of our session today.
Thank you very
so
much
for sharing your insights and experiences with us.
Yeah, thank you. It was great being here, and looking forward to the next session. Who's going to be next?
Who's next?